All right, guys, welcome back to Let's See Your Right Seat. We're here with Jeff again, and Joey's joining us today. He's a ex-Tango as well, so he's just gonna go through and tell us what he did and then what he did after he got out. All right, so Joey, go ahead, tell us your story.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Eh?
I was a crew chief Tango. Blackhawk was in the 57 medevac with y'all, and did that for a few years before I got orders to go to Italy. In between we did Afghanistan, Iraq tours, and then I ended up getting out in was it 2004? I said, and then from there, just bouncing around, hanging out, trying to finish off some schooling, and I'm working a part-time job with a cable company right here in town in Arizona, and then just didn't finish off my schooling. I ended up getting a job from Honeywell, getting contacted by a recruiter from a hiring service over there, and I've been there ever since. Repair all generators, aircraft generators, and it's good work. Love it. Been there.
Cool. So I know when you got out, it was the Air National Guard you went to, right? Or
The Air Force Reserves.
Air Force Reserves. Okay.
Oh, you went from active to Air Force Reserve.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So,
So
Right.
you working on their Hawks over there or what?
Yeah. The crew chiefs in the Air Force fly with them.
nice. Yeah. So when you got out, like, did you just go straight into the reserves, or were you like was it like, did you go like full-time reserves? I know I forgot what they call it. It's like full-time reserve, and then they have like just the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full as an art, and no, I was in line in a position to get a job over there full time, and do your reserve. 1 month or 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
But the line was too long, to get hired on. There are people holding on to positions, now retiring. So I long over there.
So you didn't even bother with it and just went out.
I did try, but I just noticed that that was the trend. So I ended up having to look elsewhere.
Gotcha.
So was that your plan before UETS? Did you talk to someone beforehand about going reserves or Air National Guard, or once you got out you found out about it?
No, that's when I got out. I found out about it. I had a plan to go to California with another buddy, and then they were telling me that the job market over there was just low. It was really low, and then cost of living, So I figured I'd come back home. I had support over here with my family, and I didn't have to worry about that. And concentrate on schooling, and then get a part-time job. And that's when I found out about the Air Force Reserves. I joined up because my schooling, my classes were on the base right here at Davis.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they had a local community college out there, and then from there, I just talked to some of the other students that were reservists themselves or active duty, and then I got them.
Well, all right.
That's cool.
Great.
That came up. That's a good opportunity. Yeah. I never even thought about that side of, getting out and doing air guard stuff. So that's pretty cool.
All right. So there's that networking tournament coming up again, huh?
Yeah, networking and then like family support, and then looking at other services, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's close by. So it worked out for me.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. I always said if I was going back in, it'd definitely be Air Force. Yeah. So I could just relax.
Yeah. You focus on your computer-based training.
Right.
How long did you do that, Joey? How long were you in the reserves then?
It was about just under 3 years, and
Okay.
it wasn't going anywhere for me as a part as permanent, getting a permanent position as a civilian. So I had to go look elsewhere. It just wasn't going up. It wasn't working for me.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that sucks. And then, so from the reserves, is that then you went to the cable company then, or did you do something else before you went there?
I was doing a couple of companies before I went to the reserves. And then,
Okay.
actually, no, I'm sorry, at the same time. I was
Okay.
doing it. Yeah.
Oh, all
So
right.
I was going to school. I was working part time, and then I was in the reserves. So
Okay.
pretty late.
Cool. So you was doing 3 things at once, huh? Reserves, work, and school. All right.
Not anymore.
No doubt. Not with kids around.
Right.
I got 4 of those, so that's my.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question about going from Army to Air Force. Did you have to do any separate schooling to learn, I don't know, how they do things or anything like that? Did you have to sit down there and say, hey, come on over and work on this, bend this wrench?
No, I didn't. The training I had in the Army was, I don't want to say surpasses theirs, but it was a wake up call. They were more
Really?
focused, like I said, on the computer based training, and I was like, don't we gotta go work on the aircraft because we gotta get them up and operational. But I was a little too gung ho when I first started there.
Oh, yeah. You had to slow it down, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, if we do this simulation, it'll fix itself. You got to calm down there, sir.
There was a couple deployments there. They went to Afghanistan for 4 months.
Uh-huh.
Not as long as we do in the Army, but yeah, there was a couple deployments going back in there. Luckily, I got out right before that happened. So
Gotcha. Hey, was it like was it a line unit there too then, or was it like more of a, I guess, CASVAC or medevac, whatever they have there? I don't think they have medevacs, but
there was a SAR squadron, search and rescue.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was more of like the Pavox and stuff then?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know.
So when you picked up the job doing cable installation, how was that for like work ethic of people around you and things like that? Like, how did you enjoy that job, or did you?
I worked in the warehouse, so I didn't go out and mingle with the customers and all that. I handed out all the equipment in the morning. Then I went to the main warehouse. I picked up I restocked for the next day. So I was done within 3 or 4 hours. So it wasn't bad at all. And then I just dealt with the guys there in the morning.
So you were too sexy to go into people's homes. That's what you're saying, right? They're like, we can't let him out. He'll never come back.
Well, I mean, I can't blame him. I know Joey was the cable guy at the barracks for a long time.
Cable guy.
Yeah, that's right. I did cable before I went into the Army too. So.
All right.
Yeah. You'd be like, one person.
Fall back on it.
Yeah. It was good.
I understand. There's an inside joke here, and I won't make you tell me what's going on.
Oh no! It was just yeah. It was back in the day with the bricks. Like one person would order cable, and then everybody would everybody got the hookup.
Joey was the master splicer, huh?
I mean, I don't want to say it was Joey per se, but
somebody liked Joey.
Right.
The Flash T-shirt.
That's right. Yeah, they didn't see me go in the closet. I was too fast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was good times. Yeah. So but yeah, as Jeff was saying, when you got out and like was working with the cable company again, as you went back, did you notice a difference in how it was ran and how things were being done and people were acting compared to when you first went in, like prior to the Army? And so did it annoy the shit out of you?
There was veterans that worked there too. So, but I noticed that I was a lot more organized than the other coordinator, the warehouse coordinator that was in there. I was a lot more organized than him, and he was just this fat dude that just hung out and didn't work so hard. He wasn't diligent in the job, you know. Relied more on myself. I didn't mind. It was good work, you know. But yeah, that was the main thing. The other guys, they're there to do their job. They just want to get their equipment and get it out. So it wasn't dealing with them.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. No overalls to climb under. Climb under houses. No. Yeah.
Yeah. No more than that.
Yeah.
One time I had to go to a trailer, a potbelly pig came after me one time. Last time I went to the trailer.
Oh man. That's pretty funny.
That'll surprise you.
Yeah.
I'm low crawling under the trailer and I'm like, I hear some noises. I go, that doesn't sound like a dog or a cat. And then it's all black and shit. I was like, holy, what the hell is
that? Potbelly pig chasing after you. That's pretty hilarious.
Better than a snake.
Right.
I know.
Oh man. So when you went to Embry-Riddle and you were using the GI Bill, you said it switched over. So how did that work out for you with the switch? Did you still have to stay? Were you still using or at the cable company to as like a part-time job, or did the BAH actually support you or not?
No, actually, by that time it happened, I was able to switch out. I went to the learning assistance office that they had on base, and we worked there, and I was able to switch it out, and it was pretty easy doing that. And then that's when I got a recruiter using. I had my resume at monster.com, and a recruiter contacted me with Honeywell, and then that's when I went over to Honeywell, and that's when I was working there. I never got to use it. I had like one semester, I think it was, and it was pretty good money, you know, using BAH and all that. So it worked out pretty good. So if I would have stayed in there, then I probably wouldn't have to work as many hours as I did when I first started, you know.
Right. Cool. And yeah. So I was thinking too, like, so did you only want to go to Embry-Riddle just because of your aircraft background that you had when you were in the military, or was it something you were thinking about, like, you know, prior enlisted or whatever, you know?
Well, that was something I was thinking about before I got out, and just never. I should have started when I was in, you know.
Yeah.
All the deployments and the TDYs. Yeah, I never had time.
Yeah. I was thinking that too at one point. I was like, man, I'm gonna go get my AMP and do all this schooling. And then no, like I think I signed up for something in Bosnia once, like a class in Bosnia. It was like an online course, and then I got like halfway through, and it was just like, nah, you can't do it. Like, you know, everybody's yelling at you. We got aircraft down. I was like, well, I gotta go to school. It's not my fault, bro. Like, you're not going to school, you know? So, and
that's the toolbox.
right. You know, so it's just one of those things. I know it's really hard, like, when you're in to actually go to school, especially like, you know, with what we were doing. You got to keep aircraft up and everything else. Because yeah, I remember like, I think after like I missed 2 classes, I was just like, all right, well, I'm not gonna be able to go to school because you can't do anything. So, or you always get called off and like, hey, you got this to do, or you got guard duty, or whatever, you know. So yeah.
I imagine that's the difference between the Air Force and the Army then. So like, you said that, you know, you're just you weren't a flyer in the Air Force, right? You were just the ground tango, basically, right?
Yeah, it's the maintainer.
So do you think like if you were active Air Force, you'd have an easier time doing school at the same time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you're not doing both, right? You're just doing one or the other.
Yeah, and they focus more on that. You know, even the guy as a maintainer, yeah,
Right.
there was a lot of them in our office. So any of them could pick up the slack while someone goes to school or someone's off or someone has to leave early to go to school. You know.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of doing it compared to the Army for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Did you find that you liked it, or were you like, did you miss the Army while you were in the Air Force? I'm curious.
It was I was shell shocked, you know, going from the Army, the way things are there, and then come over here, and it's so lackadaisical, you know, just like, wow, look at this, everyone just chilling out. It's hot outside. It's, oh, stay inside, stay inside. But we'll get that. Or they pushed off maintenance on the weekend when there was other guys that were new mechanics that I had opportunity, I could train them, you know, learn some things on the aircraft, and then some of the older guys, the arts, you know, they'll say, no, we'll get that during the week. We got to get this computer training done. Everyone's got to get up to standard. Everyone's got to get all this done, and that was another shell shock too. It's like, wow, I thought we had to be operational.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me. It took me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All those who are watching this and want to go Army versus Air Force,
Yeah.
might want to go one way or the other. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. When they if they're prioritizing school over operational readiness, yeah, that's definitely a different thing than the Army. That's for sure.
Like I said, they got their work done during the week when the civilian guys or the permanent guys were there. You know, and I just found better opportunities where I could train. I could help. I wasn't even trained, but I had the experience. I could help train the new guys. You know, just some of the PMs and all that. Just to help out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty cool. And then, so I was going back to the Honeywell thing. When you had your resume up on Monster, like, did you just leave it up there, just to let for other people to know like how you actually went about it? Right? Do you just like put your resume up and then just drop it on there? I know you can do that on some sites. And then you could like focus it for this industry or whatever else, is that something like what you did, or?
At that time, that's what I did exactly. I applied for other positions, and then I just put my resume on there for the industry and aerospace, and that's when we got the call recruiter from Honeywell.
Cool. Yeah, and
is Monster even a thing anymore? Does anyone know?
I think so.
I think there's other stuff out there that's superseded it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know mostly now people are using is it Indeed? Yeah. So
LinkedIn too, I think.
Yeah, I know even in my industry, there's a lot of jobs that are still on Indeed that I look at and I'm like, oh, okay. So, because before, like, I had to go to like specialized websites to get it, or to look up jobs, like were like tailored specifically for visual effects or whatever. Now I just go to Indeed and they're all right there. The same postings that are on the specialized websites are right there on Indeed. So I know that's a lot easier. I haven't been to Monster in I don't know how long. So yeah. But that's about it. So,
Joy, would you ever want to go back and finish your degree?
I thought about that. I wouldn't mind going back, but maybe get into a mechanical engineering field. But, yeah, I thought about it, but I haven't put any effort to that.
I was just curious. Sometimes
Yeah.
you know, obviously other opportunities presented itself, so you went with that, and you know, you're feeding the family now, so that's great.
Yeah,
Just wondered if maybe you felt like you wanted to go back and say, hey, I'm gonna do something different or something.
Right.
But I like the work. It's interesting, and then like you said, it started feeding my family. You know, I had to get the house, I had a baby on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'm glad somebody heard what he said. I couldn't hear a thing you said. All right. Good, good. Yeah. So I don't know. And then so now are you doing anything else, or is it just the Honeywell?
Yeah, no, just a Honeywell. Got all the training I need to get for where I'm at right now, and we're just working on the projects for. We do research and development for new generators that are coming out for new aircraft for commercial. We work on military, so we keep pretty busy on that. Outside of work, outside of Honeywell, I just I'm here with the family.
Cool. And so would you say that working with Hawks or whatever, an aircraft in the Army helped you out more with this job, or would you say like the schooling at Embry-Riddle helped you out with this more?
I think it was working on the Hawks, the actual hands-on working, doing the maintenance, maintaining the aircraft. That's what helped me out. Actually, and being in the military too helped me get my job above other people who didn't have military experience. Yeah.
All right.
At the time, the supervisor was looking for someone with military experience.
Nice. That's good. And that was, and was that more just because he was looking for just prior enlisted guys, or was it because of the the work ethic and the years of hands-on training that you already had? Like, yeah,
a little bit of both. The work ethic, the dependability. Someone who's not a scrub is going to call in sick all the time, or is not dependable to do the job, left alone to do the job.
All right. Mm-hmm. Cool.
You work with any other veterans right now?
Yeah, there's a few veterans out there at work. We have some Air Force, we have Navy, and Army and Marines.
Okay, cool.
So are the Air Force guys like more on the computer diagnostics while you're actually there working with generators?
Actually, the Navy guys.
Oh.
That's crazy. Those guys are the computer techie guys.
Nice.
You got a big budget in the Navy, so yeah, I suppose so.
Right. That's cool. And so I'm just saying with all that now, you're feeling just I guess just better. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. I lost total.
We don't know either.
Thank you there, guys. Yeah. So I don't know. Now I was trying to say with like working with the other like military guys. Is that like better for you, or working with that group of guys, or
Well, yeah, you get along with the guys a lot better. Knowing that they've been through kind of the same things that you've been through. So it brings out camaraderie right there. I mean, we got people coming from college or off the street, and it's totally different vibe from those guys.
Right. Yeah. So.
It's wrong, but it's just I get along better with the veteran guys.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I know maybe one other vet in my industry. So I don't think there's many. But I mean, I know there's a few more out there, but I only know one personally. So So I don't know. I don't have that experience of working with veterans outside of the military on the actual job site. So I wouldn't know how to would know. Although I do admit, when I go to a bar and I meet a veteran, I'm like, hey, it's all drinking time, but never really at work. I don't have that experience, so I was just curious about that myself, So, but yeah, it's all good. And so is there anything else that you could think of that like helped you out once you once you got out, like any like paperwork or something that you just were like I needed to have, or anything that you could think of when you got out?
No, I just know I had to keep my medical records. I was able to keep, because when I ETS, it was out of Italy, and then I had to drive. I was in northern Italy. We had to go down to Vicenza, and that's where we ETS from, or you get out from there. And I held on to medical records, and I just did that just in case,
Right.
So when I came back home, I went to the VA and I handed them my medical records, and we had a hard landing in Afghanistan.
Right, right. Remember that.
And Black Hawk 406.
Right.
But yeah, so I had a back injury from that a little bit, but I just wanted to get that noted when I was at the VA. I didn't want to get a claim or nothing like that. I just want to get in the system, and that thing I wanted to keep my medical records for.
Cool. And so then you did register with the VA once you got out. Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And
Did you do anything with the VA today? Do you see him for any medical stuff?
Yeah, I use them. I go down there, and then I do my medical checkups and all that.
Okay, cool.
And I utilize them.
Yeah, that's what they're there for, right?
Yeah. It's the same here. I mean, other than my surgeries, I do my annual checkups there as well too. I'm like, I don't need to pay for that, or I also don't have to do the was it on the taxes, pay the fine. That's also the good thing. So speaking of which, yeah, if you guys join up for the VA.
VA's good for fine avoidance.
Right, yeah. Just
that's the first time that came up, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's the first time I thought about it. Like, yeah, if you guys do register for the VA, then you don't have to pay the annual fine or fee or whatever it is. Once you do your taxes, you just check the box that says register with the VA, or getting VA benefits or something like that, and then you don't have to. Then you don't get that like just taken out of your taxes if you don't have insurance.
Form that you're covered by the VA.
Oh, you have to do a form there?
But they send you a form, a tax form.
Oh, right. Yeah, they send you it every year. Yeah, and it tells you how much you've. I don't even know. Maybe I should talk to an accountant about that and see if that's like tax deductible or something. But I know they always send me a slip saying like how much my copay was for the whole year and whatever I paid into for the VA for like meds or whatever it was. So most of the times it's nothing, but unless I get like really sick and I have to go get some pills, but that's about it.
Joey, what's that behind you? Is that a treadmill?
Yeah, it's usually there's clothes on it, but
I didn't know if it was a treadmill or like, I don't know, like some kind of woodworking equipment. So
no,
it's a clothes hanger. I got it.
Real expensive clothes hanger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a fancy one.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I think we all have some fancy clothes hangers like that, typically. I think mine has weights on it, and it holds clothes too.
All right, I've got suede hangers. That's about as expensive as I get.
What? You have suede hangers?
They're like the super thin ones that are suede because they compact. They're not like, they're just
For your smoking jackets? What?
No, just for all the clothes. They just get compact in there. You know, it's
It's like a
you can
thing.
put you can put more clothes in there because they're not as thick as hangers. So
For your silk camouflage?
exactly.
It sounds fancy. That's all I'm saying.
When you start making movies, did they give you that?
Right. You know.
You learned that at the fancy drawing
Art
school.
Yeah. You know, you gotta look good when you go see the movies.
Sweet.
Right. Sweet. But
We learned all sorts of stuff tonight.
right. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, Jay. Is there anything else you could think of that you know, like I said earlier, that you know you didn't think of when you were getting out that probably could have helped you out once you were out or not?
Well, I know you. I heard you guys on other podcasts talk about taps. I never utilized taps at all.
Really?
You know? Yeah, well, because when I was in Italy, yeah, I had to drive. It was like maybe an hour away to Vicenza, and you had a post up over there, which was it was 2.5, you know, going back and forth. So I just blew that off, you know. But one good thing is when I came home, like I said, I had my family was, you know, help support me. You know, my brother lent me his car, and you know, I had some help over here, so it worked out pretty good.
Hey, I got a question. So you didn't have to do like 30 days at a stateside base or anything?
No,
You just went straight from Italy to Fort Living Room?
yeah. Well, I went to had a little stop in North Carolina. I had to do something
Right.
with.
You had to do some cable stuff?
Yeah.
We went on a super squirrel mission.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting, because my wife got out of the Air Force and we were in Germany. She had to come stateside for 30 days to be like to actually out process in the States. That's why I asked that. So
Gotcha.
she had she left Germany and then had a stateside base to ETS from, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why I asked that. So some services are obviously different.
Yeah, yeah.
And who knows? I mean, it's 15 years later. We might not know what they do anymore.
Right. Yeah. I don't
You
know.
young bucks can tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
actually,
ancient.
Yeah. Actually, on that, Joey, I know we had some adventures when you came back because you were going through some things at that time. If you wouldn't mind, like speaking on that, like you know, with the car and everything else, like trying to get that back from overseas and deal with that overseas while ETSing, like how. Well, I know how it ended, but how was that? You know, how was dealing with that once, you know, trying to be overseas and then trying to like, you know, deal with the whole car situation, well, and the whole other living situation that we don't really need to get into, but like for the car, you know, and all that, like, how was that?
Well, the car thing was I was going through a separation at the time. I was with my ex-wife, and she, when I was overseas, she had gotten a car under my name, you know, and so you know, I was like, well, she can't have that no more.
Right.
I didn't do nothing about it when I was in Italy. When I was overseas, I didn't do nothing about it. I waited until I came back stateside, and then so that's when me and CJ tried to go get it back, and she bounced. So,
Were you guys under fire? I mean, what happened?
I just walked up the door like a dumbass, knocked on it. It's like, hey, I need the keys for that.
Right.
Goes out the back door, jumps in the ride, and takes off down the street.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the one thing I remember from that is that we had called the cops prior to trying to go in there and do anything, and like the cops were like, that was probably the smartest thing you did, because if we weren't here, you know, she could have came with whatever story, you know, and if stuff would have went bad or got crazy, you know. So they were like, yeah. So it's a good thing you guys called us prior to going in. So
Moral of the story.
Right. Yeah.
Real story. Right.
Otherwise, you guys would have been Dumb and Dumber 3, like at the police station.
Pretty much. Chasing a car down the street, like, hey.
Why are you letting your foot off the gas?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So you guys are like almost like car repo men, but it didn't work out.
Right.
Oh, we're not
Yeah,
gonna be
I think I remember on that too. Like, we couldn't even ask for a repo, right? Because it was a gated house, right? So the repo guy couldn't go in there because it was locked. So they couldn't like bust the locks. We were like, because we were sitting there like, we'll go bust the locks for you. And open some gates. Like, you just got to go in there. But yeah, I remember that being a fun situation at that time.
Yeah.
Joey's like, I didn't tell my new wife that story, so come on.
You know. Because what I got to do is I called up the insurance company and I had to voluntarily turn it in. So it was up to them to go pick it up.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they hurt my credit for a little bit, but you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah. Crazy. So there's one story for you guys that are ETSing or whatever, and you're going through a little bit of separation, and your wife takes your car. It's gonna be hell to get it back.
Gotta handle that early.
A copy of the key, the fob, before we went out there. You know.
Right.
Just that. But shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right. Yeah. So fun times.
What that guy.
Right. So yeah. I think that's pretty much it, right, Joe?
Any advice for younger veterans coming out, like to do what you doing? Like, I don't know. You seem like you had a pretty straight pathway, so.
Yeah, I did. None of it was planned out. It just happened, you know, for me. Lucky for me, you know, it worked out. But yeah, I've heard some of the other guys and some of the other guests, you know, get a plan, you know, before you get out. Which, like I said, I wish I would have started school while I was in. You know, I could have got that done, and I would have had a different path when I got out. You know,
Yeah.
It just opens opportunities, different doors for you.
Sure. Sounds like though you paved the way to other opportunities too. So you worked hard and were diligent, so that pays off too, right?
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, and yeah, you know, I attribute that to my experience and my knowledge that I learned and I gained in the military.
Nice.
Outstanding.
So, working the plan. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, I don't think I have much else. Do you, Jeff?
No, I'm good to go, man.
Cool. How about you, Jody? You good?
Good to go. My kids are back now. I gotta go feed them.
That's a good life, man.
Let you do that. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Joey. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Good work.
What was that?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Do our best.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, guys, I'd like to thank Joey for coming on and speaking with us today. You know, he's also another guy without a plan, but stuff seems to work out. So that's good. All right. So for all you guys that are getting out without plans, don't stress too hard. It could work out well for you. All right. And and for all the other guys, yeah, come on back. Every Thursday we'll be here. And just like I've been saying, like, subscribe, share. And if you have anything you want to hear about, just put it in the comments, and we will try to find somebody that knows anything about it and get them on. All right. So thank you, guys. We appreciate it. And see you next week.
Thanks again.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to Left Seat, Right Seat. If you liked what you heard, just go ahead, hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends.
and come back next week for another episode. And also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all your other podcast venues. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you again later. All right, bye.
See ya.